How's it going, my fellow monkeys? Vitality only, thus meaning I can only level health. So at the end of the run, have max health, which I believe is like 2,400, which is an absolutely ridiculous amount of health. But other than that, the rules are just that, really. I can use whatever weapons I like, and for this run, I'm trying to stick to the katana. The reason I chose the hunter class, not the pride in this case, is just for the sake of variety, I suppose. Because I get 14 dex, which greatly enhances the amount of weapons I can use for the run. And starting with the pride, I have 10 strength and 10 dex, so that at most I can have 15 strength to weapon, and then 10 dex, which is a vast less amount of weapons that I could dabble with than starting with the hunter class. Other than that, it's a really simple asylum, not much different than your normal runs, considering there's no challenge to this asylum. It's all after the asylum when I start leveling, and I can just pump stats into vitality. But just like that, the asylum demon is down, and then I gotta figure out my route for the run. And obviously, I'm gonna try and get as much soul items as I can to pump that vigor early to make the early game as just easy as possible. Because like doing this run, I've kind of realized that if you pump vigor early, the beginning of the game becomes very trivial, and then the middle part is actually probably the hardest part of the game because you don't have your max weapon, your build's not entirely set up right. So as long as I can pump vigor early, I got a good easy time doing the early game. And I'd be sure to pick up my Firekeeper soul so I can get my max flask for the run, which would be with max vitality and max flask, you just cannot die. There is no reason you should be able to, because the flask just recovers so much, it is just ridiculous. But from there, I grab all the soul items in Firelink, all the soul items that I can find in Blighttown without resting at the bonfire. I make my way through the Valley of the Drakes, grab my baby the Grass Crest shield, and absolutely clown on the Black Knight. And you probably could guess what weapon we get from the Black Knight. Obviously, the Black Knight halberd. I'm pretty sure every single Black Knight I killed at this run, the run that I can't use any of the Black Knight weapons because my stats aren't high enough, I get them all. Every single Black Knight weapon. But now I've got to Andre, so I can start making my way back to Firelink, and then Undead Berg, so I can get the Uchigatana. Along the way, I grab the Firekeeper soul, so more for more Estus upgrades. Now I just start bum rushing to get my Uchigatana, so I can have a weapon to upgrade, so I can fight the Gargoyles. And this guy drops it, so I gotta beat him up to get it. I hit a nice parry, then pick up my goodies, the Uchigatana and the Residence Key, which I don't think I use any sorceries in this run because I don't think I can. I don't have enough int or attunement for such. However, the one magic I do use in this run is Power Within, so that's also something I'm gonna try and get in the future here. I picked up chunks from both Titanite lizards I've killed so far, so that's pretty crazy and good. The Taurus Demon probably goes exactly how you'd expect it to, with Golden Pine Resin and Uchigatana, because the Pine Resin alone would just shred Taurus Demon no matter what weapon you have. And demons in DS1 are susceptible to bleed, which comes back later in the run with Demon Fire Sage with an upgraded Uchigatana. But the Taurus Demon goes down in seconds. It is one of the easier Taurus Demons I think I've ever done, other than one-shotting him, but I have an upgraded Uchigatana, so one-shotting is not an option here. Although now, I upgraded my Uchigatana to +5. And then pop all my soul items I can in my inventory to beef up my health a little bit more, so I have a good chunk of vitality to fight the Gargoyles. Like, it really matters, but I do it nonetheless. The Gargoyles fight itself was actually rather fun. I don't know why using dex weapons on the Gargoyles, I just find super, I guess what would the word be? Exhilarating or something? Because it just shreds through the health. Gold Pine Resin, just like in the Tauros fight, just seems to help really shred the Gargoyles down. But I always gotta watch out for that second one, because no matter what health I have at the beginning of this game, that fire, if I get caught in it, is going to shred through my health bar. So I definitely gotta make sure to take him out pretty quickly here. Although, I'm really just trying to play it safe, because if I die with this much health at the beginning of the game, it's going to be so embarrassing. But as long as you just keep the second Gargoyle's location in your head, it's rather not that bad. Same thing with ONS, because the timing is rather similar, but as long as you think, this is probably enough time that they're probably going to attack me. But look, just like that, Gargoyles are dead. I ring my first Bell of Awakening. I buy Purging Stones because during that mandatory Seath fight, he's definitely going to curse me with the amount of health I have. Then I kick Lautrec off the cliff, pick up his Fap Ring, which is a 20% buff to health, which is kind of crazy health buff. No, having this much health and 20% more is just gonna go crazy. I pick up another chunk from the Black Knight, and now it's time for the Capra Demon, which goes very poorly. This is the part of the run where I'm thinking poise is probably going to be very crucial. Because if I can just tank the boss and just chug Estus in their face, then they can't do anything about it. I also have so much health at this point of the game that there's no point to really rolling. I have +2 Estus, and I have enough of it, so I can just kind of face tank and then spam R1 and do some damage. Because it's just a Capra Demon, it's not like it's an actual hard boss. Then boom, we got Capra going down, which allows me to get the Big Ember, or Giant Ember, whatever it's called, so I can get a +10 Uchi Katana. And I should be sure to also talk to the Pyromancer here to get my Pyro Glove so I can use Power Within, which gives me a 40% damage buff, which is pretty crazy. I slap the rest of my souls into Vigor, obviously. What else am I going to do it with? Grab my Pyromancy Glove, and now I'm going to Quelaag. I need to get Power Within, too, down here. That third Firekeeper soul. But before any of that, I decided just to bum rush Quelaag and kill her as quickly as I could, which doesn't go too terribly, otherwise my damage isn't that great, but as long as you just stay barrel stuffing Quelaag, she really can't do anything about it, unless she like step in the lava, or she uses her AoE, which you just bucket away. There's no point trying to face tank that move with this much health. Just run away, it's far easier to deal with. Only having a +5 Katana, this fight didn't go too terribly. Quelaag can't bleed, so that, you know, gets rid of some of the damage we could do, but +5 Golden Pine Resin and a fast attacking weapon, it's not bad. It tends to shred through the health quite quickly. Then we got Quelaag going down. Not a terrible fight. I also kind of considered here, do I fight Ceaseless Discharge now or later? I mean, the extra 20,000 souls would probably be rather good. So I was like, I could definitely cheese him now. Why not? And then I get a little armor from the set you pick up. And then we hit a little nice cheese, and Ceaseless Discharge as easy as that. When we come back to Blighttown, be sure to pick up the Power Within, the other Firekeeper Soul, so we can get +3. So we're setting ourselves up to get +5 later. And then, funny enough, I tried equipping Power Within and realized I don't have 10 attunement, so I have no attunement slots. So I had to figure out, is there a way to get extra attunement slots in DS1? And apparently there's a ring in the catacombs that allows you to get 1 extra attunement slot. So usually I'm rocking the Ring of Favor and that ring, so I can use Power Within for that extra damage. Sense Fortress, as always, isn't the most fun place, but it's not all that bad what people make it up to be, as long as you know your timing and knowing how to traverse it well. There's really no point why you should be dying here, especially because you can quit out. There is one thing I do need to do here, though, is let's talk to Mr. Onion Knight, so I can get the life ring later, which is another 5% buff to health. I hit the bonfire. Now that I'm in Sense Fortress, I can buy large Titanite shards, so I can get my Uchi Katana to +10. So then I can get that lightning the lightning infusion in Londo, which is what I want, the path I want to go on. But now it's time for the Iron Golem. And these 3 fights, Quelaag, the Iron Golem, and ONS, are probably the hardest fights in the run. Because my health isn't maxed out yet, and I haven't got Havel's set yet for the poise. So my damage is kind of bad even with Power Within. But I attack so quickly that it kind of doesn't matter. It kind of helps make up for itself. But the Iron Golem still takes quite long. I don't think it's my longest fight. I think some of the Lord Souls were definitely longer fights. But it's still not a terrible fight. As long as it doesn't grab me. Yeah. As long as it doesn't grab me and throw me off the edge, then I should rather be fine. Just whack at his ankles till he falls. I almost got him to fall off the edge, but his placement wasn't entirely that accurate, so he kind of just was able to stand right back up. And then he grabbed me, and I just about shit myself, because if I was doing this fight for like 4 minutes now and got thrown off the edge, I was gonna get real pissed. And just like that, the Iron Golem's dead. And I'd be sure to wait a second in case I, get blown up by the firebomb, which totally didn't happen last run. And then I make my way to Anor Londo to go through the rafters. And I gotta be careful here. I mean, I always gotta make sure I'm not sleeping on the quit out, otherwise I'm totally falling to my death. But as long as I got that going, quit out should be easy. And having a large amount of health in the rafters too is quite nice, because the Painting Guardians aren't scary at all. I mean, all I gotta worry about is just not falling. And if I don't fall, then I'm definitely not dying with the large amount of health I have already. Now it's time for the archers, which were not all that bad, to be honest. I get a nice parry on the one, so I could have swore he fell off, but I kind of like lost focus and looked away, and when he stood back up, I was shitting my pants because I thought he totally fell off, and I was crazy panicking. Then I make my way in Anor Londo and pick up the Havel set, because that set has some crazy poise, and with my massive amount of health, that poise, I can just stand in their face and R1 to them to death, and just chug. But then I use the Titanite chunks I picked out from the Black Knight Halberd, or not the Black Knight Halberds, but, you know, the Black Knights and the little crystal lizards, to get a nice +3 lightning, which I believe is an equivalent to like a +13 weapon, if I recall correctly. And I grab a life ring from Mr. Onion Knight, and now it's time for ONS, which this first time was a shit show. It's mostly because Ornstein resists lightning, and the damage onto Ornstein, even with power within, was pathetic. So I'm just already trying to think of, like, should I just continue fighting him, or am I going to change my weapon to a non-lightning affinity weapon? But I mean, I tried playing it out as long as I could to see if it was possible for me at least to do it. But the damage I did to Smo is what made me continue fighting, because that damage was absurd. Like, there's a far drastic difference. Like, lightning resistances, or resistance in general, in DS1 are just so dramatic. Because even with power within, I was doing nothing to Ornstein but chunk and Smo down. That's some crazy damage. But then the resistance comes back with the Super Ornstein, which, I mean, it's totally possible if I just locked in and really started trying, but it's not something that I really wanted to do. You know, just here to have a nice, joyous time doing some DS1 challenges. I still wanted to keep fighting Super Ornstein, because I wanted to do him and practice him for my spear-only run, because I'm going to want Ornstein Spear for that run. So I was like, I guess I'm just going to keep practicing on him, see what it, like, moves and timing I need to dodge his attacks. But once I'm on Estus, the fight ends quite quickly. He just starts chunking out my health. Even my large health bar starts chunking it down, whittling it down for me to eventually croak. But after I die here, I'm thinking, what weapons could I use to fight him better? Like, obviously I'm not gonna want a lightning weapon, because that's no good. And I was looking at the Gargoyle Halberd that I picked up from the Gargoyles, obviously. I was like, maybe I'll use that. That might be the weapon, but I started coming back to upgrade it and noticed and remembered the Crystal Halberd's here. And that's what I should be using. Because I can definitely use it just by two-handing it, so I was going to give the Crystal Halberd a nice shot. But once I start using the Crystal Halberd, the damage is much better. There's no doubt about it. Plus it has a better moveset, in my opinion, than the Uchi Katana. Because I just quite love halberds in DS1. Definitely my favorite weapon type. I had a little bit of a close call, but like right there, ooh, that was scary even to watch now. But my health bar is so big that I can just try to face tank and chug, run away a little bit, regroup, and then go back in it. Because I'm so comfortable with that halberd moveset that I wasn't really worried at all. Which, looking back at it now, is definitely the problem. Because I did not really care about dodging. I was full of greed and wanting to end the fight as quick as possible, which I should not have done. That was way too risky on my part, even with the Crystal Halberd, because it definitely could break much easier than any other weapon. But now we got Super Smo, which is definitely the easier part, because once you start looping him, he just keeps wanting to do his loops. And especially with the Halberd moveset, just a running attack, quick hit, and then run back and bait another move, and that's all you have to do. Moveset is just way too damn good. Then we got ONS going down, which is definitely the last major roadblock of the run. Because after this is just boss rush times, you need to run into bosses, slaughtering them, and getting to Gwyn pretty much as quickly as possible, because the second half of the game is definitely not my favorite, per se. We grab ourselves the Lordvessel, and do a little bit of, anyways, before we do any of the Lord Souls, I want to get Mask's Flasks, so we kill 2 of the Firekeepers, one Quelaag's sister, and the other one is the Firekeeper Anor Londo, so we get +5 flasks, which is a massive buff, to be honest. And then I picked my Titanite Slab from the Great Hollow, because I want to make sure my weapon's max before at least most of these bosses. So, and when I picked it up, I kind of realized I need more chunks. So I kind of was like, I guess I'll just kill the Bed of Chaos first. So I make my way to Bed of Chaos, and then upgrade my Katana to +15. With how much trouble the Demon Fire Sage gave me in my last run, it was so great and so pleasing just to shred through his health bar. Every 3 hits would bleed, which is honestly really crazy, even in like Elden Ring standards, because every chain of attacks was doing crazy damage and then beating him, so he was dead in seconds. We've got Demon Fire Sage going down, and I go right into the Centipede Demon, which I still have no idea how to fight him. I kind of just hope and pray and just try and out DPS him every time I play this game. Which I really should be trying to learn his movesets, understanding the dodge timing, but sometimes he just jumps in the air and I kind of don't know what to do, so I just run away. And then I did something I didn't even know really was possible. That I cut off his head and it dropped the orange shard ring, which I didn't know it was his head. I thought you had to go for the tail for that, because most thing in this game is the tail. So when I cut off his head, I was super surprised. I was like, what did that thing do? And then I killed it, and it dropped the orange shard ring. And he's sitting over there in the lava, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? And he starts throwing projectiles at me, which I totally forgot he had projectiles, and it's some crazy AoE. So I was just hoping and praying I didn't die, because I was so close to killing him, and I had no Estus left, so I was really starting to sweat here. I managed to get a little clutch it out a little bit, and from there it's honestly just onto the Bed of Chaos, which surprisingly I did it without dying, which I don't think I've done that in a long time. And I was trying to do a little bit of cheese and use fire bombs and a bow, but I could never figure out what the proper angle was for that. So I was like, I just gotta do it regularly, but it worked out, so hey, I ain't gonna complain. Then I realized the Giants and Sen's Fortress drop chunks. As long as I kill at least one of them, I have a +15 weapon. So I already got my slab, so I kill him, go to Andre, and get my slab. Not my slab. My +15 weapon, or +5 in this sense, it's a lightning infused weapon. Now it's time for the worst part of this run. Worst part of any run. I gotta fight Sif. Good little doggo. But like any other boss, I gotta shred your health bar. And shred is exactly what I did. That health bar got decimated. I'm sorry, Sif, but I need your ring. Now with going to the Four Kings, I couldn't equip Power Within because I lost that the Sunlight ring, so I had to put the Ring of Sith or Artorias, Travel the Abyss, and this is also where I decided I'm gonna put on the Havel set, get some infinite boys basically, and just bully bosses. And with that first king going down, my confidence was pretty much through the roof. Because I could just chug in their face. It was crazy. Like, they could do nothing to me. I could just spam R1 and win. It's just ridiculous. The only things that really scared me was like grab attacks, because poise doesn't matter with grabs. Either they grab you or they don't, so it's the only time I needed to roll. But as easy as that, the Four Kings go down, which the boss fight was long per se, but super easy. Just like this pinwheel fight. You could guess how this went. Oh my god. Using Power Within for this pinwheel fight was definitely overkill. Kill him in 3 hits. Damn, that's just chunked. And with Nito, I do the exact same thing I did with the Four Kings. Full Havel set, Power Within, stand in his face, and just spam R1. And the fight is just dead simple. Like, his skeletons, usually a little irritating, but they don't do like any damage to me, and I got crazy poise, so I'm just disregarding them the whole time and slapping Nito with my katana. Which I tried fighting Nito without using the Havel set and then died, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. And this fight right here is why I buy my Purging Stones. Because I purposely came into this arena with low health so he wouldn't curse me. And he ends up cursing me anyway. Oh, it really irks me. Now it's time for Seath. And it's usually the same thing. I gotta run behind him, pop his immortal crystal, then stab his little tentacles until he dies. And hopefully not get cursed again. But I also didn't know that if you attack him directly and not his tentacles, you do a little bit of extra damage, which it's great to know now for my next runs, but it is a little bit dangerous staying that close in front of him, because he could definitely curse you, which is really scary. But once I start getting multiple hits at once, the health bar just disintegrates. Like, it's crazy how good the Uchi Katana is. I mean, I guess it's mostly Power Within that's really shredding down his health bar, but still, it's not a bad strategy. And then we use a little bit of shenanigans to make sure I get max health for Gwyn, so I can really show off how this this build works entirely. We got a little 99 action. And I also equipped the Life Ring to give me that extra 5% boost, so I can totally have the maximum health possible. Now this Gwyn fight is absolutely pathetic. I'm gonna leave it entirely unedited so you can experience the true wow of having full health and Havel's armor. It is balls to the wall crazy. Well, if you like the run, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, do all that stuff. And if you have any suggestions for it, comment it down below. Why not? And be sure to have a great day.